Mandalorian just made its finale available for Season 1 on Disney+, and this review will contain spoilers for the entire season. I held on from reviewing every single episode, and I'm just going to talk about the season in general. So beware if you have not watched the finale or just the season, beware, you do not want to see this video because you should totally watch this show. The Mandalorian is set after the fall of the Empire and before the emergence of the First Order, where we follow a lone gunfighter in the outreaches of the galaxy far, far away. And I need to start by addressing the Baby Yoda in the room, because as soon as I watched the first episode, me and probably a shit ton of other people, we knew what we were in for, because this little dude conquered the entire world and brought the fandom together, because Baby Yoda is the cutest little thing since there is anything existing, living, and breathing in the universe. Baby Yoda is cuter than anything. I love Baby Yoda. I love that they didn't just settle with him being cute. He's actually a really good part of the story. The Mandalorian finds him after his first mission. He decides to do the honorable thing and not kill this little guy and take care of him. And throughout the series, there's hints that this little dude can use the Force, and he's actually pretty damn powerful with the Force, even though he's just 50 years old. I say just because for the species, that's actually very, very young, because we know they live to be around 900 years old. So I made it clear, I love everything about Baby Yoda. I love how they used him in this show. I love that we have a Force user, but he's not the driving force of the story, nor is the fact that he is a Force user the driving force of the story. Let's talk about the Mandalorian, played just the voice, I think it's fair to say, by Pedro Pascal. I think he does a good job. There are a lot of moments in this show where you should have no idea what he's feeling and what he's going through mentally, but they're able to capture it in such a beautiful way, particularly in episode 4, which is a turn for the character. We start seeing this new leaf completely turning on him. It's the episode where he goes to save the people from the village, and there are just so many moments in that episode where he just has a mask. You shouldn't have a single ounce of an idea of what he's feeling, what he's going through, what he's thinking, but you do, because they direct it really well. So through this mask, you see a lot of what he's feeling. And I'm giving just the example of episode 4, but throughout the show, it's like that until in this finale where he does take the mask off. And in that case, it is Pedro Pascal. For the most part, apparently, Pedro Pascal was not under the suit. He was just providing the voice. Honestly, I am pretty damn okay with that. You don't see him. So nobody should have a problem with it not being Pedro Pascal. He's doing other projects. You don't necessarily need him. You need something who is built as him and someone who's a good actor on their own right. And the grandson of John Wayne is a good actor in his own right. And I'm sure they have more doubles under that mask, under that suit throughout the series. And I'm pretty damn happy with it. I really love this character. He is a badass. He is a proficient fighter, he is smart, he is cunning, and he is honorable. And that code of honor grows and grows and expands throughout the entire season, which I really loved. Something that I really loved also in this show was paying attention to who was directing in this episode, because I think TV shows are a really good place for directors to come in and cherry pick and showcase their talents. And this show really showed that. First of all, Dave Filoni, who is the creator and director of at least most of the Clone Wars and Rebels episodes. I think he did a good job. I don't think he did a great job. His episodes were the first one, which I thought was a good launching point for the show. I didn't love that episode, but I liked it. I liked where it was going, and eventually I grew into loving the show. The 5th episode, I thought it was a dud. I don't think it's bad per se, and I don't necessarily dislike that episode as a whole. I just think it served the whole season little to no purpose. So it was cool seeing the Mandalorian Tatooine. It was cool seeing that one mission that he was doing in that single episode. But in serving the whole story, the whole show, I think it did little to nothing. So my biggest problem with that episode is not even the directing and saying Dave Filoni didn't do a good job. He did a good job with what he was given, and that was the script, which granted, he wrote at least part of that script with Jon Favreau. I think the episode, written-wise, was just not serving anything around it. It was just very isolated, and I would even call it a bottle episode, but nothing in here is bottle episode. They only have 8 episodes, and I could see what they wanted to do with the 5th episode, but again, I just think it didn't serve anything around it. The biggest takeaways I have from directing in this show is Bryce Dallas Howard, who I was really worried about when I heard that she was directing an episode. She directed the Sanctuary episode, and the Sanctuary episode was great. She shot that AT-ST as if it was a T-Rex, really instilling the terror in the characters and in the audience. I thought they did a great job. I loved seeing in that episode and in other parts of the show that the Mandalorian isn't invincible. He's afraid just like anyone else, and if it's just him and Cara Dune, played by Gina Carano, they're going to be very apprehensive about their mission. They know what their strengths are, and they are realistic about it. I also love episode 6, where he goes with this ragtag group of also bounty hunters to free this prisoner from a Republic ship. I thought that episode was really great, and it just gave you that taste of what you wanted to see, this badass dude going off on different adventures throughout the galaxy. And he does hang out with not so good people, but as we've seen before, he can also help people and do the honorable thing. So I like the shades of grey that they instill in this character and in this story. Episode 7 and 8, I count as one, and we have a lot to talk about, especially in the ending. I love that they have their backs up against the wall. I love that the Mandalorian barely survives this. I love that when they see themselves surrounded by stormtroopers and death troopers, and there's a Moff in there played by Giancarlo Esposito, they're fucked. And the show really puts that into your mindset. They are fucked. Episode 7 is one of the best tension-filled episodes I've seen of anything this year, and Deborah Chow, she is going to save us all. This woman running the entire show of Obi-Wan, I cannot wait. From episode 3, I thought it was the best episode until I saw episode 7, and both of those episodes are probably my favorite of the show thus far. Let's talk about episode 8. I love that he gets his jetpack. I love that he gets that little insignia. He is a squad of 2. He is a family of 2 now. He has to take care of this baby, and he's probably going to deliver this baby to the Yoda species, and I think we're probably going to find out the name of the Yoda species in Season 2. I love that we get that very specific call-out. If he doesn't do that in Season 2, I don't know what this setup was for, because it was clearly setting up that in Season 2, I'm not saying he's going to deliver it in the first episode, but I think part of Season 2 is going to be him trying to find out where the Yoda species is, to deliver Baby Yoda and put him in a safe place once and for all. And I don't know if this is going to be unpopular, but I like that we don't know exactly why the Empire or the remnants of the Empire want Baby Yoda. I mean, they could want to clone him, they could want to study him because he can use the Force and whatnot. These are just things we can assume, and there is logic behind it. From what we know of Star Wars thus far, it makes sense. But I just think we don't know, and I like that we don't know. We're not 100% sure of why they want him. Maybe they just want him because he's cute as hell and he's the cutest thing ever. Maybe that's it, and I'd be happy if that was the answer. But I like that we got a clear road to follow on Season 2, at least part of Season 2. But I am going to be pretty sad if we get to the Season 2 finale, or hell, midway through Season 2, and he delivers Baby Yoda, and he goes off on his adventures, and we say goodbye to Baby Yoda ever and ever. I am going to be pretty sad if that happens. I mean, it makes sense. We all know Baby Yoda can't be on this road with him forever, but it's going to be pretty sad. And I like that Moff Gideon survived, but the thing that made me flip out was when he cuts the hull of his tie with the Darksaber. This dude has a Darksaber! How does this dude have the Darksaber? Why does he have it? Is he a Mandalorian? Is he a Mandalorian by birth or by creed? So many things to explain, just like that, just with the showing of the Darksaber. As a fan of Clone Wars, as a fan of Rebels, I loved it, but I need to know more. And I need to know how he has it, and I want to know more about this dude. I need to know this dude's backstory. Is he going to be the overarching villain for the rest of the show? How many seasons it will have, I don't know, but is he going to be that dude, or is he going to just be killed off at the beginning of season 1, and then Mandalorian will keep the Darksaber? I don't know, but I can't wait to see it. Are we gonna see Sabine in season 2? Are we going to see a whole squad of Mandalorians join the Mandalorian, whose name is revealed to be Din Djarin? I'm not sure how I feel about the name. I'm just going to call him Mandalorian, which I think they don't want us to call him Din Djarin. I think we should just call him Mandalorian, because the show is not going to suddenly change to Din Djarin season 2 next year on Disney+. But again, I love that we get a clear road, but we also get something else that is going to continue on from season 1. And I'm sure Greef Karga and Cara Dune will show up again, and he will eventually make peace with the guild and rejoin their ranks. So I thought this was a really great season 1. I don't love absolutely everything about it. There are duds midway through, and even though I like the adventures that it went on from episode 3 onward until we got to episode 7, granted it was just 3 episodes, but it felt very disjointed, especially episode 5. Episode 4 and episode 6, I could see how they served the overall story, the overall plot, into what we eventually went to and got. But episode 5, again, especially, felt very disjointed, felt very on its own, like it wasn't even a part of this season. But this is a great show. This is a samurai show, a Western show. It's dirty, it's lived in, it's shot beautifully, the visual effects are amazing. Of course, they have to do shorter episodes and a shorter season to make sure that they have the budget to make it feel and look like Star Wars in live action should look and feel. We had a great character, we had a great secondary character, we had great characters throughout that came in and went out. I thought this was a great show that created a world of its own within a world that we already know and love. I'm giving The Mandalorian season 1 an A-. Now, what did you think of The Mandalorian Season 1, my beautiful Higgies? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Are you somewhere in between? And did I forget to mention anything that you wanted to hear my thoughts on? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll make sure to give you my thoughts on that. Thank you so much for watching. You are the best. Stay tuned, because I'll have reviews for Cats, Spies in Disguise, and my end-of-year lists. I cannot wait to bring you those, and I hope to see you there. Once more, thank you so much. You are the best. And so until the next video, don't forget to subscribe and like, because it really helps me out. And of course, stay beautiful, stay geeky, but most importantly, love each other, love the movies, because this is the way.